Most people try to improve their lives by changing habits, routines, or even their goals, but very few people stop to examine the one thing that controls all of it: their thinking patterns. Today, we're breaking down Critical Thinking Mastery 2, Understanding Thought Patterns for Personal Improvement. This book goes much deeper than basic logic. It shows you how your repeated thoughts are shaping your emotions, your decisions, and ultimately, your outcomes. So, if you're looking for better self-control, clearer judgment, and real, lasting personal growth, then this video is definitely for you. The book opens with a very simple truth. You don't just think one thought at a time. You think in patterns. These patterns become automatic. They run silently in the background of your mind. And over time, they shape your confidence, your behavior, and the results you get in life. If you really want to improve your life, you first have to understand how you think. So, what exactly are thought patterns? They're basically repeated ways of interpreting situations. Think of them as mental habits. For example, do you automatically assume the worst when something small goes wrong? Do you find yourself doubting your own abilities before you even try something new? Or maybe you tend to blame external factors instead of examining your own choices. These patterns aren't facts. They are learned responses. And the great news is that anything that has been learned can be unlearned and changed. The book identifies several common but unhelpful thought patterns that really limit personal growth. The first is all or nothing thinking. This is where you see situations as either a total success or a complete failure, with no middle ground. This mindset creates unnecessary pressure and a lot of discouragement. Then this is when you expect the worst possible outcome in any given situation. Small problems feel huge, anxiety spikes, and your motivation to take action plummets. Another big one is confirmation thinking. This is where you only look for evidence that supports what you already believe, even if that belief is the very thing holding you back. There's also emotional reasoning, where you assume something is true simply because it feels true. Your feelings start replacing facts as the basis for your decisions. Finally, there's victim thinking. This is the belief that you have no control over your life. Responsibility feels heavy, so it gets avoided. The book makes it crystal clear. Awareness of these patterns is always the first step to changing them. Now, let's connect the dots. How do these thought patterns actually shape your life? It's a simple chain reaction. Thoughts lead to emotions. Emotions lead to actions. And actions create your outcomes. If you change the thought pattern at the beginning of that chain, everything that follows changes too. For example, you face a setback at work. One thought pattern says, "I failed again. I always mess things up." Another pattern says, "This is valuable feedback I can use to get better." It's the same event, but a completely different meaning, leading to a completely different result. The book gives us a practical step-by-step method to reshape our thinking, which it calls the thinking upgrade process. Step 1 is to catch the pattern. Start noticing your recurring thoughts, especially when you're under stress. These patterns show up strongest during moments of pressure. Step 2 is to question the thought. Ask yourself, is this thought really true? What evidence supports it? And more importantly, what evidence challenges it? You'll find that most limiting thoughts collapse under a little bit of honest questioning. Step 3 is to replace, not erase. You can't just delete a thought. Instead, you consciously replace it with a stronger, more accurate one. For instance, the thought "I always mess things up" can be replaced with "I'm still learning, and I'm improving with every attempt." Step 4 is to reinforce the new thought through repetition. Thinking in a new way feels awkward at first. It's like learning a new skill. But with consistent repetition, it becomes natural and automatic. This whole process reframes what critical thinking really is. The book argues that it's not just about logic puzzles or academic debates. It's about self-lead. Critical thinkers have a few things in common. They pause before reacting. They separate facts from their own assumptions. They have the courage to challenge their own thinking. And because of all this, they choose their responses intentionally. This single skill creates emotional balance and leads to much better decisions across the board. Let's talk about applying this to real life. At work, you can start interpreting feedback as useful data, not a personal attack. You can avoid jumping to conclusions in meetings and focus on improvement instead of defending your ego. In your relationships, this means you stop assuming you know the other person's intent. You start clarifying things instead of reacting emotionally. You replace blame with a genuine desire to understand. And when it comes to your personal goals, you can finally drop the perfectionism that holds you back. You can focus on making progress, not being flawless. You start treating your mistakes as valuable information. When your thinking improves, your growth becomes sustainable. To make this a part of your life, the book suggests a few simple daily practices. First, at the end of the day, write down one recurring negative thought you had. Second, question it logically. Ask if it's really 100% true. Third, write down a more balanced, realistic alternative to replace it. You can also take a few minutes to reflect on the decisions you made that day. Were they driven by facts or by emotion? And finally, start noticing your emotional triggers and the thought patterns that pop up right after. These small daily acts of awareness create massive change over time. The core message of this book is powerful and clear. You cannot improve your life without improving how you think about it. When you understand your thought patterns, you stop being controlled by them. You become intentional. You become calm under pressure. You become the person who is actively choosing your future. If you found this breakdown helpful, please like the video and subscribe for more in-depth book summaries on critical thinking, mindset, and personal improvement. Let me know in the comments which book you'd like me to break down next. Thanks for watching. Master your thinking, and your personal growth will follow.